Caritas News on the Go, the Social Action Network's news and public affairs online show featuring national newsmakers and our team Caritas from the 85 social action centers nationwide. Live at Caritas Philippines social media channels, Fridays 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning. Caritas News on the Go. Isang napakagandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Welcome ulit dito sa ating programa. Ako po si Jean Ray Henderson and this is Caritas News on the Go. Kasama po natin ngayon, pag-uusapan natin ngayong araw ay isa sa mga issue na madalas nating tinatalakay dito sa ating programa and even sa mga programa ng Caritas Philippines, ang programa tungkol sa ating ecology, tungkol sa ating environment. Dito po sa Pilipinas, palagi nating naririnig o nalalaman, alam natin dahil simula sa ating elementary years ay nabibasa na natin po sa ating mga libro ang Apo Reef, ayan, at ang Tubbathaha Reef. Pero alam ba natin po na yung dalawang ito ay nanganganib sa ngayon. Pero hindi lamang ito yung gusto nating pag-usapan dahil merong bago tayong nalaman, meron palang Paradise Reef. At ito ang isa sa mga pag-uusapan natin ngayong araw dahil gusto po natin na maibahagi din sa inyo kung ano na ang nangyayari dito sa Paradise Reef. At alam ba ninyo kung nasaan ito? Makakasama natin walang iba kundi ang isa sa mga advocates to save Paradise Reef, Mr. Ramon Lucas. Magandang araw po, Mr. Sir Mon. Kumusta po kayo? Welcome po to the program.
Good day and thank you for having me.
Hello po, ayan. Sir Mon, gusto lang namin pong maitanong sa inyo, no? Kasi most of our viewers, especially lalong-lalo na yung mga kabataan, yung mga ngayon pa lang po na ipanganak, hindi nila alam kung nasaan ang Paradise Reef. Alam natin yung Paradise of Eden, pero yung Paradise Reef, saan po ba ito matatagpuan?
Okay, actually, ang Paradise Reef is located in Samal Island, the island garden city of Samal in the Davao region, no, Davao del Norte. And this is a relatively small reef, but its significance is that first, it's in relatively good condition, given the fact that it's located in the Pakiputan Strait in Davao Gulf, no? If people have been people who have been to Davao City or Davao del Norte will know that this area is a very busy sea lane, no? It's located. There's the Sasa Wharf or the Davao Wharf. It's located nearby, and surprisingly, that this reef is quite close to the city, actually, in a highly urbanized city. All you have to do is take a 5-minute pump boat ride to cross Samal Island, and after that, the location is right. It's fronting Paradise Island, the beach resort.
Mm-hmm. At kayo po ay taga doon or nabisita na po kayo, naging turista kayo ng Paradise Reef?
Okay, it's like this. My mother is from Davao City, no? And actually, it's my family who runs a resort that's fronting this Davao Reef, no? This Paradise Reef rather. For the last 70 or so years that what we have had that property, my ancestors, my uncles have been very, very tenacious in protecting that reef, in the sense that they make efforts in telling people do not engage in dynamite fishing, do not destroy the corals, do not it's important to have the fish there, things like that, no? So it saddens me that I have to bring up this problem uh, now that we're having, just to maintain or save the reef for what it is.
Okay. Nabanggit na din naman po ninyo, Sir Mon, yung tungkol doon sa bakit meron tayong campaign to save Paradise Reef. Saan po ito nagsimula, yung campaign ninyo?
Okay, let's put it. I have to be very frank na para sabihin sa inyo that I am not really truly an environment advocate. Actually, I'm quite ignorant, bordering on ignorance in knowing about these things. No, but first, at least during the lifetime of my mom and some of my uncles, they were all saying that there is a lot of wealth in the sea, and that's why they will all, lagi nilang sinasabi, alagaan ninyo yung samal. That's not only
The
the
Arab
land,
2019
but also the
study
sea
covered 2
fronting
stations
it.
in Barangay Limao,
And,
but the exact locations were not specified.
How would I put it?
But the Arab
This
2020
came
PowerPoint
about,
presentation,
this move of ours to try to
seaweed
save
and
the reef
seagrass
came
ecosystems are
about
important
when-
marine habitats
when
that act as nursery
it
grounds.
has
They also
been
trap
planned by the
sediments to
previous
minimize
government
sedimentation of
that,
the reef and protect the coast
through the
from erosion.
DPWH,
Both act
that
as
to
carbon
build a
sink for
bridge
blue carbon,
that would
or the
hit
carbon captured
right
by our
smack
world's
the-
ocean and
the coral reef.
the
no?
Arab 2020
And,
PowerPoint did.
In the beginning, of
But while
course,
it reported
as
4
I-
species,
as I,
it did not mention what these
previously
species
said,
are. Their study showed.
Jing, I
Their
hope
findings
I-
show
I-
that Lumos,
when
Lumos
you
and
called-
Paradise
when
Reef
we-
coverage
when you
with around
spoke
30
that
or LCC of hard and soft corals.
I'm a
National
realist.
assessment
I'm
of
not
our
going to
present
tell
study.
people that
This at Al
when they
19
told me that
out
there
that
will
only
be a bridge
Bridgeport
that will go
listed for
into
food,
the
that
right
are small
smack
and
into the
colorful
resort,
attractions in a reef
I
are
was
called
quite,
non-target species,
um,
and fish that
how would
rely
I put
heavily
it?
on
Very-
coral polyps.
I was quite
These richness
bothered,
and fish
but
state
also
of
realistic
lumbrations
in
range such
telling
as sea
people
star,
that you cannot fight
sponge,
government.
and sea
If they
cucumber,
want it,
to
they
name
can
a
get
few.
it.
They are
All right?
important as a food.
But then
Thorough
again,
assessment on them as
the journey
were found in the area.
just
These
started
creatures
there,
are filter feeders,
as I would say.
and they thrive in
Because
areas with a strong current
when
where
they
they can just
said
catch
that
their
the
food.
bridge will be
They were
built,
all seen in the 3
right
stations
smack
established.
the resort.
Forage
But
in
I
sea
said,
theist
there
in
is
Paradise
a coral
species
reef in
diversity,
front, and they
the
are
bridge
aware
on the
of that,
marine
and we brought
environment
it to their
because of the
attention.
expected rise
And
in
still
trash.
they didn't listen.
In fact,
listen to
these
reason. So what did
identified
we do?
portions of land,
We
D
came.
and thus
we
making
brought-
it the worst
I was-
possible
I
landing
was,
site for the bridge.
I was advised
Construction will definitely cause
by a
irreparable,
good friend of mine,
irreversible,
who,
and
Attorney
incalculable
Sarge
damage
Sarmiento,
to the best
a
marine
noted
ecosystem of
environmental
Samal
lawyer,
Island.
that said,
This destruction will have an
told me,
adverse ecological impact to the Davao Gulf
I will
as a
help
key marine biodiversity area.
because
Second,
I was a
that I will be
JVP,
instructed to redesign and realign the SIDC bridge
Jesuit
to
volunteer
select
of
the area in
Philippines,
front of Station 2
there
or
in
the
Davao City
proposal
for
by
2
the
years
JICA
in the
2016
80s.
because it has
He
the
told
least
me
biologically
he
productive
used to
area
go
and its marine
and
life is less
dive in that
vulnerable
reef.
to direct damages during and after the
And
construction
that
phase.
Was his pastime for the for,
Third,
for
that in
the
case
years
Bridgeport
that he
is not
spent
available,
there. So
the
it
area
really
of
and truly
Station 1 in
saddens
front
me
of a portion
that
of Lumos
there will
property
be some-
must be the
that
alternative
there will-
landing site.
It is being threatened.
It has been offered for donation
or
by the
actually
Rodriguez family,
would-
the
would
owners
be
of Paradise Island,
probably
to
destroyed
demonstrate
by,
their full
by a
support for
bridge
the
being,
SIDC bridge and intention not to delay
built.
its construction. Although its
So
marine
yet,
life is
we-
slightly better than
what we did
Bridgeport,
was that
it is
to make
significantly
sure
a
that
less
we were on the
biologically
right
productive
side,
area
we
than
made-
Station 3.
We conducted or we
And fourth,
asked
proper mitigating measures during and after construction be formulated and implemented
foremost
wherever
marine
the landing
biologists
site may be.
in the Philippines to conduct a
However,
study on the area.
If government agencies would
and
proceed
this
with
is-
Arab's
it's in the name of
recommendation,
Doctora,
despite having full
Filipina
knowledge of
Soto,
the results
okay?
of the FBS study, they would open themselves up for
actually,
legal,
she's one of the main
environmental,
authorities,
criminal,
in the
civil,
Philippines,
and moral liabilities and
about
culpabilities
marine biology.
under the relevant environmental norms
But I have
and
to
laws.
tell you that I didn't know her. She was contacted by Attorney Sarge, and we scheduled a dive, and that was in sometime in December
The
2019.
Arab 2019 study covered
Okay.
2 stations in Barangay
You know,
Limao, but the exact
when
locations
she
were not
did this
specified.
dive,
But the
we-
Arab 2020 PowerPoint
I
presentation
myself
suddenly
was
added
very
one more
apprehensive.
station.
I said,
This time,
I
they
don't know
specified the
what will
locations
you
for
find
each of the 3 stations
I
they
do
studied.
not know what is it
These
all
are the
worth
comparative
it,
results of all 3
going
studies.
against government
Seaweed and
or
seagrass
saying just
ecosystems
no.
are important marine
I had
habitats
no
that
idea.
act as nursery grounds.
But
They also trap sediments to
after a
minimize
while,
sedimentation of the reef
during the
and
time that
protect the coast from
there was a
erosion.
dive that actually
Both act
was
as carbon
conducted
sink for blue
with
carbon, or the carbon captured
Dr.
by our
Soto,
world's ocean and coastal ecosystems.
marine biologist, also
The
Joey
Arab
Gatos, and
2019
her whole
study
team.
did not include seagrass and
They
seaweed
all told
communities.
me that
The
I
Arab
will
2020
be truly
PowerPoint
surprised
did.
of what's underneath.
But while it reported
the
4
surface of the
species,
water.
it did not mention what
Sir,
these
yung
species
binabanggit ninyo na study ni na Dr. Filipina Soto, together with Dr. Alfredo Medina and then Dr. Coleto Nanyola, sinasabi
Yes.
nila dito na the study concluded that if we fail to realign the bridge, eto ngayon yung binabanggit ninyo po kanina na Samal-Davao Bridge, ano po, na proyekto ngayon ng ating, actually, the outgoing, last day nila ngayon, di ba? President Rodrigo Duterte, under his administration, nangyari po yung usapan together with China Road and Bridge Corporation. So, ang
Yes.
sinasabi dito ni na Dr. Soto ay, if we fail to realign the bridge into a place or to a location na less damaging to our natural resources, yung 144 meters daw po na Paradise Reef, yung richness ng marine biodiversity nito ay will be risking thousands of seagrass species, live coral reefs, reef fish communities, and macrobenthic invertebrates to permanent damage. So, kumbaga, walang reverse ito, talagang mawawala na sila. Sabi
Yes.
pa nila dito is, one of the best reefs in Samal Island is the home of the rarely seen lace corals since the massive harvest in the 1970s. Yellow sea cucumber, giant clams, and the clownfish, famously known as Nemo.
Nemo,
Kaya pala
yes.
may Nemo dun sa inyong mga campaign.
Yes,
So,
yes,
etong mga
yes.
species nito need urgent protection because of its decline globally at hindi lamang po dito sa atin sa Pilipinas. So, kumbaga, yung binabanggit ni Sir Mon ngayon is kinakailangan talagang i-educate natin, at i-promote at i-protect natin yung remaining na marine sanctuary, not only yung Paradise Reef but also all the marine sanctuaries or all the marine ecosystems that we have in the Philippines dahil kapareho ito, Sir Mon, I just would like to parang insert na dito sa yung Verde Island Passage na nandito naman sa Luzon ay isa din sa mga pinoprotektahan natin at kinakampanya against the fossil gas expansion, which again our government is doing. So, parang merong, ano bang tawag dito? Parang merong koneksyon yung bawat nangyayari doon sa mga tinatawag nating sites of struggle dahil government pa din yung parang nagiging kalaban natin doon sa ating mga campaign. Pero, were you able ba to talk with the government or any of their representatives habang nangyayari po yung talks between our government and then China?
No, yeah. Well, Jing, just to a little bit to backtrack a bit. We have been making representations since 2019. Ever since that this project or this proposed alignment of the bridge came to our knowledge, we have been making representations that there are other areas that are less ecologically or environmentally
damaging.
Yes. How would that, to not only to prove our point, but we actually made a study on other sites and they concluded that those locations that we have cited, the coral reefs already were what they term impoverished. All right. And then after that, in our case, we were telling people that, okay, there is a site that has been studied that is less environmentally damaging if the bridge or the alignment be there. And we are willing to donate a lot so that it would traverse that area. All
And
right?
ano po yung
And that
sinabi?
sorry, pardon.
Opo, ano po yung sinabi when you offered another location?
Okay, we were actually offering as a donation, mind you. Okay, so we were actually they said that it cannot be because of some engineering problem. I was saying, it's easy to say because there will be some engineering problems. But a coral reef is a coral reef. It's not as if it's man-made. It's actually God-made. It's nature. Okay? And here comes engineers telling us that there will be an issue with engineering, or there will be some design issues that would come into play. Teka muna. You are engineers. So in engineering problem also, but we
Yes, correct. Tsaka parang ang ano natin dito is the breach is still parang a dream, 'di ba? Hindi pa nangyayari, so we can do something about it pa. Pero
yes.
we have to also remember that Paradise Reef is actually a protected marine sanctuary, 'di ba? Which is under our law, yung ating NAIPAS Act. So, kumbaga,
Okay.
nandun na yun eh. Bakit kinakailangan nating problemahin yung hindi pa nangyayari over doon sa nandun na at nagbibigay na ng serbisyo, not only I think not only to yung mga malalaking vessels na dumadaan doon, but more so with the community, the fishing community ng Samal.
Yes. That has always been the sad part of this whole endeavor, that throughout the reports that I have seen, very little emphasis has been made on the value, the actual value of the reef. No, as you have already enumerated a while ago, the conclusions of the study conducted by Dr. Soto and company, that it's not only the idea that it is it's home to various species, but what is more important is the idea that this is an actual spawning area. It's a nursery, kumbaga, no? That this is where fish species, including tuna, and that we heavily rely on as a country in our exports, actually they breed in this area. Okay, what happens? This was explained to me by this marine biologist. You see it, it's there. You have live corals, you have seagrass, you have the seabed, and this is a very fertile area for the fish to spawn. And then they grow into fingerlings, and then because of the very strong the tidal currents of the Pakiputan Strait or Samal, the Davao Gulf, is that these fingerlings are transferred to other coral reefs in the Davao area, in the Davao Gulf area. And then after that, it stays a while, then it's further brought out into the Celebes Sea. So as a result, it's a whole ecosystem that will be totally destroyed, and this would actually make us. It would actually endanger even the fish supply of the country. And and everybody has been discussing lately about food security. And my God, this is a project that's actually endangering food security in the Philippines.
Mhm. Um, Kumbaga, we are endangering the food security of our people
Yes.
para lamang mapagbigyan natin yung $350 million na bridge project or kasi ang
Yes.
sinasabi ng ating pamahalaan is that this would be a very good network of road connecting everybody. Parang one civilization to the other, di ba? Kaya lang yung sinasabi nga natin is that pwede ba nating i-compromise yung future ng ating marine ecosystem, which is actually the future of our people din, para lang doon sa isang road network na pwede namang mangyari sa ibang lugar, 'di ba? So, pero
Yes.
Sir Mon, ano yung panawagan po ninyo doon sa ating mga first sa pamahalaan? We have a new administration now. Maybe he will listen. Ano po yung panawagan ninyo sa kanya?
Well, let me set the things straight also, is that our family, the Lucas Rodriguez families, do not really oppose the bridge, number one. We have always said that development is development, and that will always be for the common good or the general welfare. But the problem is, there are times that development can actually do more damage. And here's a situation which I've learned quite recently, that the Paradise Reef, as it is, because it's still in its natural state, is very important to the ecosystem of the whole Davao Gulf. Actually, I was just taking a look at a recent article written by Dr. John Lacson, who's a diving aficionado, and he's a marine biologist who lives in the area, that he says that it's just a garden within a garden. And aside from that, it's important for food security. Because, as I mentioned a while ago, it's an important spawning and nursery for various fish species that are important to our food security. Okay, my appeal has always been, make the study more thorough. Do not limit yourself to one alignment, which was done in this case. The makers of the feasibility study, which I have to name, it is of record, Ove Arrow Partners of Hong Kong, that they decided on the alignment without a total, of course, with a very thorough study on its environmental impact. What we were saying is that development should not take priority over food security. Now it has been proven with what we're experiencing now. We have dwindling stocks of fish, and we have rising costs of fuel. You know, if our fishermen or if our fishermen will have to go further out in the sea just to catch fish, they would actually lose more money because of because how expensive fuel is, the crude prices is now.
And it
And
would
of
become
course,
more dangerous for them.
exactly. And aside from that, what happens if it becomes more expensive for them? And sometimes, and fishing is also a sort of a gamble, because there will be times that they would go out, but they won't catch anything. They totally lose money or spending for crude oil. And then after that, if they actually do and go all the way down further south to find catch, what they would do is that they'll bring it back. What happens? It will be more expensive for the consumer to buy the fish. That's why, or even the food manufacturers or sardine makers, or even the tuna canners. And this and you're very well aware that these are primary export products of the Philippines. We are known for that. We're actually not only endangering the local fishermen, we're actually endangering even a primary export of the Philippines. So I would like to appeal that, just to to make a more thorough study on the matter. It I am very pleased that the money is there, $350 million. I also thank the Chinese government for its generosity for granting the loan. But then again, I also appeal to them that um, the Chinese government, I know, are good neighbors. They will not endanger the food security of their neighbors. And in our case, we would like to think that even the government, if they know all the facts, and the new government, if they all knew the facts, they would also reconsider, because the importance of Paradise Reef is quite immeasurable. I myself, I didn't know that, because I was saying, oh, this is a relatively small reef, little known. But then again, it's my association or my communications with this marine biologist that opened my eyes to this. As a matter of fact, I think you have seen some photos that um, are so wonderful. Actually, it's so impressive that it makes you wonder, why would they put a bridge near there wherein it would definitely call for drilling, um, dredging. And when you drill, you dredge, and you pile, you will definitely have sludge, mud, and debris. And this is a very sensitive ecosystem that you have. And they claim that they can mitigate it. But I said, that's the very operative word, mitigate. But they cannot prevent it.
Yes, correct. And
That's
we
the
do not
difference.
want na lahat palagi na lang tayong nag-adapt, di ba?
Yes,
Doon
yes,
sa
yes.
mga nangyayari sa atin, because sabi nga natin, parang in the Philippines, we are very good at adapting to the situation. Pero hindi natin talagang nagagawa yung preventive measures para yung mga
Yes.
sakuna, yung mga
I
disaster
agree.
ay hindi na mangyayari. And we do not want this na parang magiging, look at what happened doon sa mga pinabayaan nating isla na ngayon ay na-reclaim na, iba na yung itsura, and then we suffer a lot. Even like dito sa Metro Manila. So, if we have several
Jane,
yes po.
can I just interject something? Okay, when you mentioned that it's not preventive, we are not very good in preventing. I would like to set an example. I do believe that you've read about it just a couple of weeks ago, that the former president Duterte, stopped the reclamation project in Coron. Have you heard about that?
Yes, opo.
Okay. I have to say that the reason why that was stopped, first of all, is that it's very visible. Though they were complete in papers, they were complete with, of course, with the ECC, with the guidance of the DNR and the other various government agencies involved. But they saw that there was violations committed left and right. And aside from that, damage has been actually done. I have to mention that the people that did that study of the damage in Coron are the same people who did the study on Paradise Reef. So my message is that why wait for another disaster to happen if it is preventable at this point in time? How would I put it? We have already made efforts, and when we have already communicated time and again, we are willing to donate a property that would be more environmentally friendly for this alignment, for this bridge, the Samal Davao City Bridge. We have conducted a study. Dr. Soto and her team, even Dr. Fred Menida of the Carabao Divers, and even this other group, Sangkel Lekasan, who made a dive recently. They made the comparison that it's like night and day. Paradise Reef is so full of life, whereas the property that we were offering is actually almost life is very minimal. So I said, if you are really into for proper development, or so, it would be wise to take a look or make a study of the proposed site that we have said. The problem is they have already made the plans definite, they finalized it without making a very extensive study on the environmental impact of this bridge in the location. They always claim, no, the issues of the environment have already been settled. And I disagree totally, because I know for a fact that there have been quite a few misrepresentations.
Yes, and in most cases, ganun nga talaga yung nangyayari. Kaya we are very thankful also, Sir Mon, that you came forward and then make this public already, yung issue ng Paradise Reef, because in most cases napapabayaan natin yung napakakagandang mga kapaligiran natin, yung ating kalikasan, because we kept mom doon sa nangyayari, hindi tayo nagsasalita. And thank you very much for coming forward and then for letting everybody know of the situation dyan sa Paradise Reef. And also, sir, please invite everybody to join your campaign to save Paradise Reef.
Okay. First of all, I have always said that the only way that you will appreciate the reef is to come and take a look at the reef. Come to Davao City, cross to Samal Island. There is that reef, which is like 5 to 15 minutes away from the city, wherever your jump-off point is, and that you will discover that it is a rich, there is such a thing as biodiversity, even in the most convenient area. You don't have to go to Tubbathaha or Apo Reef and spend thousands of dollars, not pesos, dollars in making a trip or dive. Here is like 5 minutes to 10 minutes away to fully appreciate something that's God-given. Okay, if you see that, you will enjoy the sight of fish, live corals, and even some they call this sea snakes, and you will see them all interacting together. It is the ecosystem that we wish to protect. Please, anyone who would still doubt our move, is that come and enjoy it might, and come and join us in trying to save this reef. It might also be it's not only we're trying to save it, we're trying to save future generations, because it's not only us, our present generation, that will suffer. It's actually the future, because as I have mentioned, fish is dwindling. Our population is rising, but the fish and food supply is dwindling. Please, if for people who are all people concerned or listening out there, come, take a look, enjoy, and relish the sight of Paradise Reef. Go there. It's very close, and you will see what we are saying is actually the proper, what we are saying is actually the truth. We are not hiding anything.
Maraming salamat po, Sir Mon Lucas, for giving us this opportunity to talk to you and then bring some light doon sa ating Save Paradise Reef campaign. Thank you very much po sa iyong oras.
Thank you.
Nakasama po natin Sir Ramon Lucas from the Save Paradise Reef campaign dyan sa Samal Island. Gusto natin din pa siguraduhin po na to bring this to your attention once again. Kasi madalas pong nangyayari sa atin na sinasabi ng mga proponents ng any extractive industry campaign or nagagawin, lalong-lalo na kapag ito ay programa ng gobyerno o proyekto ng gobyerno. Ang sasabihin, this is something that would develop the community, this would bring us development, at saka ang palaging sinasabi ay ito ay magdadala sa atin ng napakaraming trabaho. Ang hindi natin nakikita doon ay na-factor in na yung trabahong ibinibigay nito sa atin ay hindi pang matagalan, kundi pang madalian lamang, panandalian lamang, dahil ilang taon lang naman nilang magagawa yung 3, 2 taon na matatapos or 5, sabihin natin, yung mga ganitong proyekto. And the work, the job created ay hindi talaga yung pangmatagalan, because alam naman natin po na sinusubcontract ito, at para hindi sila masama doon sa kumbaga regular na, wala namang regular employment dito na nabibigay sa pangmatagalan. So kumbaga yung lahat ng nangyayari po is something that's not really transparent or accountable doon sa ating mga ini-expect sana. And most especially, ang lahat ng mga nangyayari sa atin ngayon is very, we really want na sana matuto na tayo. Ang dami na nating mga examples of government programs na hindi talaga nakapagdulot sa atin ng maganda. So, maraming salamat po sa pagsama ninyo ulit dito sa ating programa. Sa mga susunod na araw, syempre palagi po tayong magkakaroon ng mga pagbabahagi tungkol sa ating pangangalaga sa ating kalikasan. Hindi lamang po sa Paradise Reef, kundi sa iba't iba pang mga parte ng Pilipinas na sa palagay po ninyo ay nanganganib na ngayon dahil sa mga proyektong kagaya nito. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Ako si Jean Ray Henderson at ito ang Caritas News on the Go.
Caritas News on the Go. the Social Action Network's News and Public Affairs online show featuring national newsmakers and our team Caritas from the 85 social action centers nationwide, live at Caritas Philippine social media channels, Fridays 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning. Caritas News on the go.